Welcome to Dice, Nerds, and Nagas, coming at you from beautiful and stinky Phnom Penh, Cambodia. Dice, Nerds, and Nagas, Cambodia's favorite Dungeons & Dragons podcast by default.
It's the best kind of win, really.
It's the best way to win is to not have any other competitors. Now, you were wishing to speak with Jergal, right?
Yes.
Who was the old god of death, and is now the new god of death's right-hand man. So you had just finished, helping out with the funeral for the goddess Saloon, who recently died, was destroyed by the Void Naga. And so you take your time, go to the uppermost, sanctum of the tower, and begin to pray to Jergal. The others can't really be in the room with you, or it'll mess with the vibes.
Downstairs, take a short rest.
You pray toward this sort of crystalline, muddled glass altar, and finally a voice responds. A croaky, sort of dusty-sounding voice that kind of shakes you to your core, even just hearing it. It says, yes. What would you ask of me?
We went through this the last season. What were you trying to find out about the grandfather of Turtle?
How we can find him? Where is he?
What's his name again?
Grandfather Turtle.
Having been around so long, I implore you to share some of your wisdom with me. We are looking for grandfather Turtle.
Grandfather Turtle is a being that I've never held any sway over. As far as I can tell, he is one of the only constants. He escapes each cycle as if it does not even matter to him. As for his current whereabouts, I think I can give you some direction.
That would be most appreciated.
Look to the west, far west, past the Sea of Swords. There you will see Grandfather Turtle if you are lucky, riding the waves north to south, trying to gather what I do not know he tries to gather, but he seems to be in distress and poor health, which is something that is unheard of to me.
Thank you.
I wish I could be more specific and help you, but Grandfather Turtle does not stop in any one place. He simply goes. Is there anything else you desire of me, follower of Kellamore?
One more question for you. That sea that we were looking for.
Sea?
Where the All Father's brother's body is.
Oh, the Astral Sea. We're just trying to find out how we'd be able to find the body of Balin, the brother.
Okay. One last question, if I may. We are looking for the body of Ben, brother to the Old Father. Do you have any idea how we might be able to find him?
Balin, brother to Allfather. His body was cast aside, never to be seen again, but denizens of the astral plane might know. Seek out the Githyanki people, for they know all the corners of the astral sea, all the hidden fortresses and bits of land. Or seek out the Elder Brain, leader of the Mindflayer people. They also have many secrets that even the gods cannot discuss or find.
Thank you, Jacob.
Anytime, he says.
That point of view of God.
Yeah. No, he says, follow your instincts, Akul. You will find the answers you seek. I must return to my duties.
Thank you, Lord.
And whatever inner light that the crystal you were praying to seems to dim and fade away back to nothing. and that is the conversation with Jurgal. He is all busy now.
Okay. So I go back down and fill you guys in on the details. Jessop, apparently grandfather Turtle is sick. I've been told that we'd be able to find him.
Plastic wrist toast.
West. Maybe.
Plastic
Could be
strong.
Could be in a big oil spill as well. I was told that we could find him to the far west, traveling from north to south. He's apparently looking for something.
That's very interesting. Wouldn't that would take us across the path of where these giants are blocking the ocean, I would imagine.
Yes.
Well, we're probably going to have to do something about that then. I mean, we could try to fly over, but who knows how long it would take.
We need a lot more rooms.
The flying castle.
Probably need a lot more gold.
The heist of the century.
Well, there is a nice big bank in Waterdeep. Also, regarding the body of Balin, I was told that we need to either go speak with the Githyanki, because they know the astral seas very well, or we need to speak to the Elder Brain.
Yes.
Huh. Well, that
Which
probably
old man?
means we should try finding my brother.
Which old brain? You listed old brain.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Gith are already
Give
looking.
in.
The Githyanki are already looking for my brother.
That would give us an in.
This is true. Well, I mean, for now, we should probably figure out how we're going to help Zambri with her problem. Shall we make our way back to the college?
Yes, I'm just thinking, since helping Zambri with her problem is going to take us to the plains anyway, we should maybe plan a route we're all together to find out. I mean, sure, we can go straight down to Kanya, but maybe if we have the time, we can stop off with another plane before we go for the blood.
What did you have in mind?
Well, the easiest way for us to go would be to go through to Sigil, and while we're in Sigil, we have access to a lot more doors, so we might be able to go see Githyanki before we need to go to Kanya.
I just want to jump in for a second. There was a place that was mentioned, the Inn of Doors, that plays kind of a similar role to Sigil normally. Does.
Where is that again?
It was, you had to go into Kaloon Walled City, find a particular tea shop, and go through their supply closet to reach the Inn of Doors.
Speakeasy.
Yeah, kinda like an interdimensional speakeasy, where a demon and an angel could have a pint together, or a beholder and
I forgot about that.
whatever, something with no eyes could hang out and discuss things.
Or things with many eyes.
Exactly, and find something with even more eyes.
There we go. I like all of those options.
What did the dad say to the beholder?
What?
I see.
God. So, the temple provides you with a few horses, to take you faster back into the city, and they return them, with a rider. And the man just kind of babbles on. It was the same guy that let you in, leads the horses back. Like, blah, 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 blah. Things in Waterdeep used to be so much nicer back in the day. And then, oh gosh, I think Count Euling's a little corrupt, if you ask me. He was behind this whole prohibition thing, and now he's the one that made it legal again? I don't know. And I heard that him and his Red Viper gang, they're the ones that have been infiltrating the guard, making things rough for people. But didn't hear it from me, by the way. Okay, there's the gates. I'll see y'all later.
Are there
That guy was
any
really chatty.
monasteries in Waterdeep?
Yes. Within the Kaloon walled city, there are several different people that practice the martial arts and meditative fighting and things like that.
Meditation.
Yeah, it used to be home to the Enlightened Suns gang and the Red Oni gang, but nowadays things have changed a bit in there.
Who runs it now?
Who knows? You don't know yet.
Okay.
That's a bit outdated information, but probably the most recent that you guys would have if you were even aware of the place.
All right.
So back to the Wizards College then.
I think so, yeah.
So the city is still very busy, even at nighttime. The shops are open, people are selling food from carts all along the sidewalks. You see workers shoveling fresh snow off to the side and carting it off out of the city, where there's already piles of snow higher than 10 people, piled up just outside the walls. And all around just a sense of busyness, people. This is probably the only major city on the Sword Coast where life is going along pretty reasonably the same as it always has.
Okay.
Making your way to the Wizards College, you're not hassled by any guards this time. You see several groups of Griffin Knights patrolling the streets now. And passing by an old area that is completely under construction on the way to the Fountain District. You can see new buildings being thrown up all over the place.
Did
There's
some
just
fall down? Was there...
well, I guess asking around, you're like, oh, wait, what's the story here? He's like, oh, this Gilly Storm Chaser woman led the Griffin Knights to root out some criminals that were in this neighborhood, but I don't know what happened. Something went crazy, and they burned the whole damn place down. It's a huge massacre. It used to be called Barrowtown. But they're building up something nice now. There's a lot of people that got a lot of good contracts for this land, so give it another year or two and this place will be booming.
Just where Gilly Stormchaser lost her, got into bad repute.
Yeah, exactly. She was supposed to be rooting out this gang, the Knife Throats or something, I don't know, but I don't know. She was a little overzealous, as paladins are wont to do, and ended up killing a lot of innocent people. Caused a huge amount of damage.
Who was she, what god did she follow, if I may ask?
Oh, the Storm God. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Tempest.
What?
Tempest or
Tempest.
Storm or something.
I think it was Tempest.
Interesting.
But I don't know, I hear she's all the way down in Brightwater doing something or another.
Saved a whole bunch of people.
That's what I heard, at least. I try not to read the papers too much. Too depressing. I just mind my post.
And this is it? Is this a Griffin Knight?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, you notice he's got extremely well-made armor. It looks, they're dressed to impose.
Okay. What's going on with these knife murders?
Oh, you saw that in the paper, huh? Well, I'm not really sure. It's a couple people in town, though, have been killed, and there's some, daggers carved onto their chest. I don't know. It's could be a murderer, could be a new group. I don't know.
Nothing rings a bell for us.
Daggers?
For me?
Could you show us? I mean, would you be able to draw out what these daggers look like?
I'm not the one on the case, really. You'd want to talk to Lestrade.
All right. Where can we find this Lestrade?
Of course. Lestrade.
Lestrade. You'll find him just down at the City Watch headquarters for the Docks District. That's where the last murder was. It was the Dock Master, actually, which is weird because we've lost 2 of them in a year now.
Okay. Well, thanks for your time.
No problem. Like I say, I mostly stick to the Barrowtown area. And then, passing through, you guys can make your way back to the Wizards College if you want, or you can stop wherever you would like, really.
Didn't you want to go see the Temple of Bethlehem?
I didn't want to. I just thought it might be a good idea. But I actually thought that was only because that was Gilly Stormchaser's god. But obviously it's not now. So, yeah.
I think it's probably a good idea we see if we can try and contact her with Elvira. It'll be interesting to know how many people she brought down there.
She's going to shout at us. I really want to contact him.
So, back to the college then for dinner?
Yeah.
Supper?
Yeah, well, I might want to go see Kowloon City.
Okay.
Go find something out about it. Because it's like an Asian area, like
Yes. Yeah.
Oriental.
Whatever the non-offensive way to describe it would be.
My Chinatown.
Yeah. Waterdeep's Chinatown. But
Okay.
if you going there, I guess you're all going to go together?
I don't mind if we split up. Doesn't matter to me. I just want to go ask them.
I'm gonna head back to the college.
I think I'm gonna head back to the college. I'm still bleeding.
Yeah.
I'll just go wandering.
So you get
With
you
my
get over
cloak
there and find that it is when they say walled, it is a tall wall. I mean,
Is it a great wall?
nearly. Not as long, but way taller.
It's a super
Yeah.
great tool, yeah.
But it's really, I mean, it would cast a shadow that covers most of the docks. It's absurdly high.
50 feet.
Yeah. And you find that you do need special permission to enter the city, actually. It's fully blocked off. A couple different Griffin Knights are guarding the entrance. And we'd love to let you in, but
Where do I go?
you'd have to talk to one of the councilmen with special permission to enter here. It's an autonomous area.
Count Yuling?
Yes, Count Yuling would certainly be able to. He can get anyone anywhere, really.
Okay. But why? So, like. Is this like segregation or what? Are they like only
Well-
people from the Orient living in there? And
Well, it used to be a prison.
Sounds a bit racist.
It's no. I mean, it's just. Well, there's been an outbreak inside the walls, and so we're just trying to keep it
outbreak of
disease, plague.
league.
So no one in, no one out.
Okay.
Unless, of course, some temple healers come in and stuff every day. They try to tend to the people as best they can. But we don't really know what's causing this plague, and so it's hard to solve it. But you're better off not going in there. It's kind of nasty. Sick people, looters, gangs. It's not a good place to be.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time.
No problem. If
The
you,
wall-
like I say, if you get the proper permit to come in, by all means,
I will go.
we'll let you go and you can catch whatever disease you want in there.
I'll come back at night. I mean, I'll go get the papers.
Right, and then back at the Wizards College, they are setting up for dinner or whatever. The heads of the colleges are excited to see you guys again. It's like, finally, just the people we were wanting to talk to.
Good to see all of you here. I mean, and I just want to mention that I didn't see too many of you around. Are you guys usually so understaffed? Or?
Well, not usually, but with these investigations we've been performing into this cycle, all the giant attacks, the Naga cults and such, we've had to spread ourselves a bit thin. And add in the recent trouble with the weather we've been having, and a lot of our wizards are just out in the farmlands doing their best to keep the crops from dying.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, so we're a bit stretched to the breaking point here, nearly. It's one of the reasons that we're glad you guys are here. It seems like you've done quite a bit of research without expending any of our resources, really.
Well, we do have a vested interest in all of this, but what did you have any specific questions for us, or anything we can help you with?
Well, actually, we do have a few things we could help you with. Elvira's telling us you were interested in Grandfather Turtle?
Yes.
And this is not a traditional god of anyone that we know. There are no shrines to Grandfather Turtle anywhere that we've known about. There's no temples or followers, even among the turtle people. The turtle folk, they don't seem to worship any sort of Grandfather Turtle. But we found an old story of delving into some pre-cycle ruins that mentions him. It's a bit of a tale, but I think that you might all find it interesting. He has a scribe bring a scroll. He says, I've transcribed it into common for ease of reading. The language was not easy to crack, but that's my specialty. And do you guys want me to read this to you?
Yeah.
All right. It's a bit long because I got really stoned and then started writing it.
So we're talking over dinner.
Yeah.
Am I there now?
Yeah, you've come back now. Okay, well, here we go. It's just a story that we believe is pre-cycle, maybe an elven legend of some sort, which is interesting to know that elves even existed that far back. And Samathon, lord, king, ruler of the elves of the coast and the meadows, wept bitterly, for his bride Sio, mother of the ocean, was stolen. Zybal, king of death and lord of rended flesh.
Sorry, who?
Zybal, or Zebal, the Ripper. I remember you were asking me about him, so I was like, I'll throw this dude in. Zybal, king of death and lord of rended flesh, hid her in his island fortress. The walls of his keep were too thick to pierce, too tall to climb. For 6 moons he tried in vain to destroy the keep. But Zybal was lord of death, and thus invulnerable. And in the night, Samathon could hear the screams of Sio. The elves of the meadows and coast died in droves attempting to storm the keep, for Zybal had a fearsome creature to guard his moat, an aboleth, which would smash the fleets trying to cross the strait, and tear down any bridge that they built. Defeated, Samathon decided to end his life in the sea where his wife came from. Weighed down with stone, he walked into the water. But Zalin, brother of Sio and lord of waves and storms, sent a mighty gale that tossed Samathon far into the ocean. The elven king awoke on the back of Grandfather Turtle, who pulled him from the water. Samathon told Grandfather Turtle his sad tale and the pain that Sio suffered nightly. Grandfather Turtle was infuriated, for he loved Sio deeply. She would walk his coral gardens in her youth. She was a kind soul, and Grandfather Turtle loved all kind souls equally. He gave the heart of Dinesha, a jewel of great power, to Samathon. I give you my protection, he said. Wear it, and I shall always try and protect you. Go now, and speak to Kunla, a twisted creature of lies and deceit. Though he is miserable and wicked, he will follow you. He is the only god that will strike down his own kind. Somathon was placed in a bubble and sent to the deepest, darkest depths of the seas. Millions of eyes watched his descent, the endless hordes of merfolk who once ruled everything beneath the water. Under a river of lava he found Kunla, the chained god of lies, who was to stay in chains for all eternity. Kunla, I have come to ask your help. I will free you only if you slay Zebal the Ripper. What terms do you ask? The young elf king said. Only that I am allowed to take any one thing that I find in the keep, he replied. Not Sio. She will not be separated from me again, wicked god. Of course, Kunla replied. I will take only one thing I desire, with the exception of your dear Sio. The deal was struck, and Somathon spoke the word open, and Kunla was freed. The endless hordes of the Mer now pledged their fealty to the Elf King. With Kunla at his side, on Grandfather Turtle's back, they returned to Zybal's keep. The hordes of merfolk ripped the aboleth apart and scaled the walls. Somathon and Kunla snuck into Zybal's throne room and dueled him for 60 days. When Somathon and Zybal were overcome with exhaustion, Kunla was able to strangle the weakened god. Somathon could only watch as Kunla picked up the ceremonial daggers of Zybal. I have completed my task, and our business is done now, Elf Lord. I have chosen my payment, and it is Zybal's title. I will now be Kunla, the god of death and all murder. And so he was, and so he always was. Sio, the wise goddess of the sea, mother of merfolk, was freed. When she first laid eyes on Somathon, it was not with love, but with eyes full of hate. Hatred for his ignorance, his earlier failures, for the 6 moons that she suffered under the torture of Zybul. The battle was over, but the carnage was immense. Sio walked Zybul's walls and saw the mangled corpses of her people. The bodies of merfolk piled to the top of the walls like snow piled after a blizzard. Seeing her people, her children in such pain, broke the goddess's will. She forced her soul to shatter into endless shards of light, which entered the bodies of her people and mended their wounds, retethering their souls to their bodies at the expense of her own. Sio's sacrifice saved her people, but left them directionless. Without their goddess, their culture failed, and soon their people failed entirely. Somathon could not prevent his wife's sacrifice, and he returned to Grandfather Turtle with eyes cast downward. He returned the heart of Dinesha, his quest now over and failed. Somathon, come with me and live your days in tranquility. A storm is coming and you can weather it in my shell. That is a kind offer, replied Somathon, but my people, those that remain still, need me. Grandfather Turtle left Somathon sailing through the seas that mortal men cannot sail. His storm did arrive 500 years later in the form of the Saurians. They came in great waves, conquering and enslaving Somathon's descendants, bringing their new gods, their Nagas, with them. Somathon himself died before their arrival. Kunla, perhaps taking a trick from his old life, remade himself in the Saurian image and took root in their minds. The wheel turns, the cycle of people and empires grinds all into dust. Great heroes rise and great heroes fail, and only the legends survive. But like the goddess of the myrrh, even legends someday die. In the end.
So it's the Saurians that worship the Nagas, right?
I believe so. The few things that we've been able to discover, Saurian ruins, Saurian artifacts, it does seem that they have a motif of Nagas on their weaponry, in their writings. They were apparently the most elite members of their society, but, learning about any society from pre-cycle is nearly impossible. This is only what we've been able to gather over decades of research.
Have you heard much about these deaths that have been happening with people having symbols carved into their chest?
A little bit about it, but the city guard doesn't really seem fit to ask for the Conclave's help yet.
If I remember correctly, Kunla's symbol was 2 crossed swords.
That seems a little absurd to me. Kunla is some sort of pre-cycle deity. I don't think that any of them could really survive to our day now.
Grandfather Turtles.
Perhaps. I've never seen Grandfather Turtle. We heard
had
some
those-
recent stories.
We had those daggers.
What?
Steve-O's daggers.
So you think that this is some sort of pre-cycle god-killing dock masters and nobles in the city?
Well, they weren't in dagger form when we found them. There was a long sword and a short sword each. But they molded to one of our friends who took them. They molded to daggers because that's what he wanted.
So what happened to them?
We gave them to an aboleth for payment into Saloon's temple.
Saloon's temple, yes.
You see a couple scribes that furiously trying to write down everything you guys are saying. So you
They were evil
had
daggers.
Kunla's daggers, gave them away to an aboleth to enter Saloon's temple?
Yes.
And I'm imagining
You can't make this stuff up.
this is not Saloon's temple in Waterdeep or
No,
Baldur's
no,
Gate.
This was the ancient missing one in the Driftwood.
Wait, that's a real place.
Indeed
You-
it is.
Brings out a map from one of his million pockets. Can you point to where maybe it is?
You better at that?
I would show him, but I would say There's nothing there now. There never was anything there to begin with. We had to go there because of a egregious error by my grandfather. But there's only death there now.
Yes, well, if you've seen the moonless nights we've had now, I guess that makes sense. Now,
just at Saloon's funeral. The Temple of Kellam.
That's what they've been up to, huh? You know, they've had their doors shut for 3 days straight. That's...
The funeral of the god is an extensive task.
Ugh. God, what times we live in, huh? Well, beyond that, our scribes have been combing the libraries for extra answers. If we find anything of note, we'll of course let you know.
Do you guys know where all the other artifacts are?
Well, we have been in
Gracious
contact.
Rex.
We have some theories, at least. There were, I believe, 5 items or something. There was an
Still need to
armor.
get those as well.
There was a spear. There was
I show him the speed.
that crown.
Yes.
There was a necklace of Dinesha, the same one that was spoken of in here. And a blood of heroes. There was a cloak as well mentioned.
Yes.
This was found in some tome of Horatius Rex.
Yes.
So you also are aware of Horatius Rex then?
We are, yes.
That is where we've been putting a lot of our efforts, actually, sending our wizards to find these artifacts.
We found the tomb of Horatius Rex.
Really?
But we cannot get in it. There is a floating skull.
I believe if we managed to recover his artifacts, we would be able to enter his tomb. The blood would be
The
there.
blood
Well,
blood
perhaps
of the hero.
what we need to do then is send some wizards down there and see if we can just bypass the entry somewhere. Maybe dig another hole through the side or try some other method to...
His elven friend. What's his name?
Aminos.
Aminos? Is guarding it.
Well, perhaps we could reason with him or
In-
something.
in-
I don't
in-
have
in
many people
death.
to send, though.
We are
Perhaps-
planning to go back there after we find all the other artifacts first.
Well, you've made a good start on these.
Do
Do
you
you...
have any leads on any of the others?
We do, actually, yes. Well, the Cloak of 1,000 Colors, a Technicolor Dreamcoat, if you will. We have heard rumors that it's deep in the Underdark. We've sent wizards down to the Drow City, and none of them have returned. One of their
It's under
reports,
siege
though,
at the moment.
one of their reports mentioned the siege, and that the Dark Elf leader seems to be carrying this
What's the
item
city
on her.
called?
Menzo
Menzo
Barazin. Not an easy place to get to, and not a pleasant place to be in at all. I fear that the wizards we've sent have been found and killed already, but...
My brother would have contacts there. Usually well, at least it was the case where if you were doing work, you were on the outskirts of the city, they wouldn't try and enslave you. But perhaps he would still have his contacts, but that would mean we would need to get to him.
Well, we've heard reports of your brother as well from those same wizards. He is apparently at the head of this siege. Dark Elves are offering a mountain of gold for his head.
So who is laying siege to the Dark Elves inside the city?
And
something
on the
else.
outside, we can't honestly say. It seems to be... Some people are saying there are orcs. Some are saying it's demons themselves that are laying siege to the walls.
But his brother's in charge.
That's what we've heard. At the very least, he led them through the outer gates into the city. So he was able to give them an element of surprise, perhaps, and now it's just a battle of attrition. Though news from the Underdark is suspect at best.
We do know of a convenient entrance.
Yes, there are many entrances to the Underdark. Even in Waterdeep, there are ways to get in. Through Mount Waterdeep or through the Undermountain, passages can be found.
this is a possibility too.
There's a plague
There
in
was.
there, in Kaloum City, so it might be tricky getting in to see them.
Have you heard of this plague?
We have. We don't exactly know what's causing it, but we're hoping to just let it wear itself out inside the walls.
And the city council hasn't asked for your aid in determining the nature of this plague?
We have sent a couple of our students, but our best and brightest are already
Would you be
far
able
away.
to get us permits to go inside?
We actually could, yes. It needs to be a councilman. Now, Count Yuling, you could meet with him, and that could work, but we actually also have an honorary seat on the council. Let's see, I know I wrote it down. Here we go. Yes, Garfield Odina is actually a good friend of mine. He's a half-elven man, but he represents the Wizards Conclave in the council.
Okay.
If you'd like, we can set up a meeting and try to fast-track some permits for you guys, and you can enter if that's what you wish to do.
Yeah, so we have it.
Sounds like a really good idea. Now, I have just a question regarding one of our friends' issues. Would you be able to help us out with a bit of devil lore? We need to find out everything we can about the infernal plane of ice.
Okay, well, give me a little time, and I think that we can work on something along that lines. Melgor Frostbeard, he's actually probably the only dwarf in the city, other than you now. But he's definitely has studied the devil's realms a bit more than the rest of us.
Why have the dwarves left the city?
He won't say. Melgar is the only dwarf in the city right now. All the banking families, all of the armorers, the smiths, the soldiers, they just left, packed up their things, took all their money out of the bank, all of their weapons, materials, everything of value. They just packed up and left.
Do you know, Feather, do you know what the largest dwarven city around here would be? I mean, I know this isn't
No
your...
idea. I'm not even really a dwarf. I was thinking earlier, actually technically shouldn't be able to speak dwarven either.
It's strange that you're here, and because this has been repeated everywhere in Neverwinter. One of the reasons they've had so many difficulties is because the entire group of dwarves that were part of their militia left suddenly.
They must be consolidating and going underground or something, or have a place like the elves were going to,
That's what we think. Now,
some place to live out the cycle.
there have been dwarves seen on the road, messengers, I believe. They go around to each town and city, and the dwarves all gather, much like they did in Waterdeep, and they leave. No word given. Wives left. Children, half-dwarf children abandoned. The entire economy is in shambles, to tell the truth. I mean, they had so much influence. And once it was gone, it kind of left a void that was hard to fill. It's honestly a little amazing that you're here, that you haven't heard about any of this. It seems like a whole race-wide event. We were kind of hoping you would know something about that. What happened to all the dwarves?
Maybe they're taking a short holiday.
Can I do like dwarven history or something and see if I remember something my parents said when I was very young? Or, I don't know. I think I was like 3 or 4.
Yeah, now you wouldn't know anything about this current event.
I wonder if this has anything to do with Farkas.
I don't know.
Yeah, wasn't in his notes? Wasn't he saying something about building some
I
things?
was going to
and-
build something big. This castle was a test. I was gonna build
What was the
something.
name of that city that he was talking about? Kazkarans and blah, blah, blah.
Kaz something.
Celine mentioned it as well.
Dwarven
Let's
city?
see. What did she say? Let me consult my memory, i.e. my note that I got from Celine. Kazkaraksan Bar.
Okay.
That's Correction Bar.
Yes. Where is
Well-
that?
That is not too far away in the... I had a map out of show you, but it's up to the northeast in the World's Spine Mountains.
Is there a dwarven stronghold?
Yes, one of the largest, actually. But
If all the dwarves are
there's
going there
been
to
no
help
trade.
him build something.
I would imagine so. He was talking about building
All the
some
dwarves.
machine that he could quote unquote shove up the Void Naga's ass, and then the Allfather.
That kind of sounds like Farkas. He was a student here, actually, briefly.
Really?
Though a middling student at best.
More of an engineer.
When did he leave?
Oh, gosh, I mean, maybe around 20 years ago.
Did he leave anything behind?
Nothing really. He took almost everything. That's why we were so excited to get this castle back. It would maybe shed some light on what Farkas has been doing all these years.
He seems quite skilled. I mean,
He wasn't quite skilled at magic, but perhaps he just wasn't applying himself properly. I always said he wasn't applying himself. I remember that distinctly.
Every teacher says that.
And he left on some learning expedition and never really came back. We got a note saying that the Wizards Conclave's mission was pointless, that he did not wish to learn any more from us, and that he already knew more than any of us would ever know. Blah, 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 blah. You know, he was a little bit egotistical, I think.
his notes they left in the castle seem to back that up. Very egotistical. Tell me, as far as these artifacts of Horatius go, it mentioned that one of them is in the realm of shadow or something, and this seems to be Barovia.
Well, we could potentially get you to Barovia, but the only problem is there's no way out. It's a one-way trip. Even for us. But
That is a problem.
we've come to a similar conclusion, actually, that Barovia might be the place where this first hero's blood is kept.
Interesting.
Now, we did send 4 wizards into Barovia, but they've not returned.
We were so busy talking. You mentioned that you had a lead on the plug of 1,000 colors, but do you have leads on anything else?
Well, there's, of course, the Barovia lead.
Yeah.
And there's armor. I don't know where to place this armor, actually. That one still is a mystery to me. But the cloak and the blood, those are 2 that we are sure of. And this Heart of Dinesha seems to be with this grandfather turtle. But it's rather hard to find a moving object in the middle of the ocean.
Well, we
This
have
is
some
true.
idea of where to look.
Especially with all these long ships, you know, the frost giants destroying every ship they come across.
If we were previously sure that the blood was in the tomb of Horatius Rex, but if the blood is not Barovia, what is in the tomb of Horatius Rex?
Horatius, I would imagine. Didn't Aminos said he might have some insight on the
Perhaps the armor is there.
perhaps his armor is there.
No, well, we said we must get all the things and then come back. didn't
Yes, but he mentioned the items. He didn't mention the blood.
we? Yeah.
I
So
think.
armor would be inside, that must be outside, so we have to bring it to it.
Hmm.
So the blood could still be in there.
Well, let's look at this from your point, tactician's point. Where do we start?
Focusing on just the cycle, I think as we collect more items, more information will become clearer. So I think I have no idea what Barovia is, but we do know something about the Underdark, so maybe we should start there.
I agree,
It's
because
the closest.
we actually hit 2 birds with 1 stone. We might have access to the cloak, and we'll be able to get to your brother, which would put us in contact with the Gith Yankee, which might give us a route to find Waylon's body.
Well,
Remember,
Our-
Gith Yankee don't like his brother.
Yeah, I know.
well, I don't think they don't like him. They said that he knows where the Elder Brain is.
Okay,
That's why they're looking for him, because apparently they said he wants to kill the Elder Brain. Now, if my brother is leading a force against the Dark Elves, do you think it's
Maybe the
possible
Elder Brain's
that
in
they're
there.
enslaved by the Mindflayers?
That could definitely be possible.
God, dark drow are already nasty enough. They don't need to add brain eating to their list of quirks.
Yeah, imagine all the drow being able to talk to themselves telepathically from all over the place.
I think that's
Yeah.
that's definitely a problem, but we have very little time in which to
We have
figure
a
out
month.
how to help Zenbri.
Well, Elvira and Zenbri have been locked away all day. I don't really know what they're working on. They wouldn't even come to dinner.
I don't know, maybe there's a little bit of romance in the air.
Perhaps. I don't know. Elvira is a feisty one, but still, that's something that
flexible.
we've also had trouble just trying to focus our efforts on just one task. There are certain rumors about Balin's brother now. If we could find the body, perhaps there would be some way to revive the giant god.
Well,
That
this is again, I think, Underdark.
Avery's thing, just help her, and then definitely Underdark.
There's the artifacts.
So how long would it take to get to the Underdark? Could we do that in a month?
It shouldn't take. We have entrances. We have either Undermountain or we have the Gnomish village.
But I mean, it's not like a month's trip away. So
It's vast down there, and you'd be traveling on foot. I don't know if Modoc's castle would be able to fit through all of it.
Probably won't, but the other option is if we can get those permits and we can get into the walled city, we might be able to find it.
Portal.
Do the portals work like that, or is it to planes? We don't really know.
The Inn of Doors leads to many places. I'm sure there would be one to the Underdark, but where it spits you out in the Underdark, that's the
This is
question.
true.
You're going to be
Are-
beside the siege.
Are any of you able to help me speak to my brother?
We could try to send a message to him, but if he's unwilling or otherwise protected from magic, it might not get through. But we can try.
I would appreciate that. I can handwrite a note if you can get it to him, or is there?
Now, there are other things that we need to deal with, though, obviously. There are many things. For one, this winter. It won't really do us any good to try and save the world if everyone in Waterdeep starves to death.
Well, our path to Grandfather the Turtle lies past the giants in the bay, yes?
Yes, I believe if you try to cross the ocean, you will probably run into them.
I have an idea. I think we need to try and speak to Bahamut. I think if the dragons can get us, if we can manage to get the dragons on our side, that would be very helpful. I don't know how, but I imagine he would have a vested interest in preserving life. From what I understand, he's the only dragon that has absolutely no ego.
Many of the gods have withdrawn from their followers as of late, but he's supposed to be a proud and fierce god. Probably would not be afraid of the Void Naga.
Let's go chat with him tomorrow.
I think that would be
Just
very
set a 10 o'clock appointment, speak to a god. I don't think
Can you have your people?
Bahamut
His
will
people?
speak to you unless...
You have your people called his people?
Yeah. I wish that we had such powers. We're skilled wizards, but not...
Just go speak to the
not
Hellas
gods.
in charge there.
Can giants swim? I would imagine. I mean, why not? Because
Historically, all the books I read, and thinking back, not a single one has been able to swim. I can think about it. You ever read about a giant swimming? I've read about lots of giants drowning, falling into rivers and drowning.
well, I mean, like frost giants, wouldn't they just like freeze the water and walk on that shit?
Can you do that? Do that magic?
think they just exude that coldness, no?
I think I just put frost giants because their liver is cold. I don't think they have special powers.
My favorite enemy is giants. Would I know?
If they can swim,
Yes.
And also special powers.
they can swim, I guess.
And the
Some
frost
of them.
giants, do they just exude cold, or is it just they're just cold there because they live in cold places?
I think they exude cold. I
Okay.
think it's. Yeah.
All
Fire giants exude fire.
right. Yes.
Yes. Well, some heat.
Do
Alright.
Hill
giants
giants.
are-
They exude healed.
Hill giants exude hills. Boobs.
And they vomit and poop enough that it becomes a hill over time, like an old garbage dump.
Yeah, they create hills.
All right.
But they say, I think that's where we stand right now. There are local matters to deal with. We need a sunstone so that we can protect the farmlands. Those can be difficult to find.
A sunstone.
If we had one of those, it would free up a lot of our wizards to work on other research, other tasks.
Do you
Instead
have
of,
any idea where we might be able to find such a sunstone?
well, we noticed in your gardens there is a sunstone powering some sort of light fixture by your beach. That's one. Another one, though, is found in the Temple of Lathander. But
Do we need light in the gardens? Can we just light
I
torches?
don't think we need the castle anymore. I'm not too enamored with the castle. I don't like flying.
It gets us places fast.
Also, I think that to get to Grandfather Turtle, we might need to use the castle.
We're not the gardens. The gardens just to light the gardens?
Well,
feed and,
we don't
feed
know
the
how
plants.
long that trip is going to be. We're going to need fresh food. Where do you think that comes from? It also gives light to the greenhouse.
Fish.
yeah, we haven't been able to really discern exactly what how much is the sunstone powering the castle at all. But it doesn't seem to be. I mean, we're no engineers. Farkas only knows. But
Okay.
we could try that one, but we do know the Temple of Lathander keeps one. For some reason, they're not letting anyone have at it. I don't know why. They're refusing all of our delegates. Beyond that, it's just rumor. I don't know if you're interested in just rumors, but
Sure.
some are saying that a large portion of the Undermountain has been taken over by a gang, and they are using a sunstone to grow narcotics.
I like narcotics.
You're fine.
I mean, a gang, you say?
They are ruthless, bloody, and they have recently taken control of the docks area.
Okay.
So you wouldn't really have to feel any guilt stealing from them.
That might explain why they call the dock mouse.
This is
If
true.
They're exporting narcotics. But
Okay.
actually, no, that doesn't make sense because even with the blockade, they wouldn't be able to get anything past. It's kind of useless at the moment, isn't it?
Well, yeah, if you hug the coast, I guess, and go south, but with the destruction of Baldur's Gate, there's not a whole lot. It's a much
None of this
longer
makes
trip to
any
get anywhere.
sense.
The docks are rather bare at the moment.
So we have all these issues. What do you think we should focus on? Underdark, for sure, but we're gonna need somewhere to come back to.
Do you have people to go after the Sunstone? I mean, it can't just be us that needs to do all these different things. Like, we
No.
need to focus on maybe the big things.
Well, we can try and get the Sunstone, but we just don't exactly know where to get it from the gang. I mean, they guard things rather. They're rather secretive.
So you said that the gang is in the mountain, right?
Undermountain.
Under mountain.
And there's interest in
Which is-
the Underdark and the Underground.
So maybe we can take care of 3 things on that journey. Get
Okay.
the Sunstone, meet up with your brother, get the clock,
All right.
and come back. I mean, to me, that seems the most logical thing to do because we've got 3 things on 3 objectives that we can complete on one journey.
I think that's a good plan. And I've been thinking about contacting my brother. There is one way which, from what I understand, is very difficult to guard against, and that is dreaming. If any of you are able to, I don't know if it can be cast on me as a ritual, if there's some kind of way I could cast this spell myself. I'm not that skilled at it, but dreaming would allow me to speak to him in his dreams.
Okay, well, I think we can send a dreaming spell tonight then.
And then I could find out where he is. So Undermountain.
Yeah.
Are we agreed?
Under mountain, Underdark.
All right. And then there's our other problem. What would we need to survive Kenya, the Infernal Plane of Ice?
That one's a tricky one, isn't it?
I mean, this ring's gonna help me, but it's fucking cold there, guys.
Dress warm? I don't know.
I'll have to wear shoes.
Perhaps if you were there as a guest, then the weather wouldn't affect you at all.
This is
Let's
true.
read up on that. I think we can do that when we get back from the Underdark. Maybe.
Okay.
Just a quick jaunt to the Underdark. Huh?
Focus, yeah.
That's something I've heard many adventurers
couple of
claim over
hours.
the years.
A couple of weeks.
But if you could do that and find the cloak, we'd be much closer to figuring out if these artifacts could even do anything. I mean, Horatius Rex had them all, and he failed.
I feel like maybe the key lies in trying to get them to Balin. I feel like if anybody could wield all of these things at the same time, it would be...
I think we should first go back to the tomb when we have everything and see what that says.
Yes.
That would be just lovely if that could stop the cycle there. But we also need to come up with a secondary plan.
I think it would basically... what's those Power Rangers, yeah? Everything would assemble and then into one thing for one person to hold or something like that. Like, it will grant them a certain power whoever puts the things on the temple, on the altar, maybe. We've read the books. Lots of different things like that should happen. You never know.
Very good. Okay, I think we have the semblances of
Actually have a slate.
beginnings of a plan. It's all
So-
come together, guys. So
Well-
step 1, kill everything. Step 2, profit.
There you go.
Yeah.
So,
If we can get all of these artifacts together, all of us working together, we might be able to change the cycle a bit, stop it, or ensure our survival through it. But
something we might want to check out is it might be worth it at some stage heading to the Feywild to discuss the plans of the Summer and Winter Court. They seem to have some idea of surviving the cycle. If we can't stop it, a backup plan is necessary.
Well, I've been thinking about that, and their plan of survival might have been the same thing that Naxos and the goblins were using to survive. If they're in the vicinity of one of the artifacts, that's what allowed everything in the ziggurat to survive the cycles. So they might actually be in possession of one of the items.
Also, we've just learned that Grandfather Turtle said,
He
stay with me in my
survives.
shell
And
through the
will
upcoming
survive.
storm and you'll survive.
Because
Another
he had
person
the
who
heart
got-
of Dinesh.
And the druids in the Sylvan Forest below Green Rest as well. A little place with the goat head on the plinth.
Something about this still gives me the
Yeah,
heebie-jeebies.
but that's going to survive as well. That's why they're pulling all the animals in there,
Yeah.
because they feel they will survive. There's lots of places to go to survive.
So that tells me that there might be more items than just the ones that Horatius Rex had.
I would imagine so if these cycles are
Well,
endless.
I don't think that necklace of Dinesh is a thing which makes Grandfather Turtle safe. I think Grandfather Turtle's shell or whatever is a safe place. Like it might be like its own realm or something like. So getting the name. Where's the Silver Court in it?
The Feywild?
Feywild. That's the
Mhm. it's
Right.
worth checking out for sure. Any way that we could get people to safety would be
Hmm.
welcome. We can only save a certain amount of people, and we need try and get as many as possible into safety.
Indeed. All right. Well, I think that was a good amount of planning there.
Yeah, my brain hurts.
Yeah.
Hit the sack.
Okay, well, I think that is true. Dinner's getting cold anyway. I'm about done.
Well, if one of you can help me out with that spell, maybe I can try and contact my brother.
Alright. And then that happens.
Okay.
So they send a dreaming spell that travels through the lands, underground, deep, deep, deep.
Through the ether.
Yes, until you can see a scene of carnage, destroyed walls, burning homes, soldiers fighting and killing each other, and a great mix of strange beings, orcs, dark dwarves, creatures from the far realms, all in a maelstrom of destruction, all at the foot of the inner walls of
Menzoberranzan.
Until finally, up on a cleft of rock, you can see a small command tent, I guess, a good vantage point for the whole battle. And there you find your brother sleeping in relatively fine, what's the word I'm looking for? All his stuff looks nice. It looks like he's comfortable up down there.
Chambers.
His chambers, yes.
Finery.
Nice. So, he is sleeping. You can send him a message.
Hey, Blondie, wake up. Can you hear me?
Is it Jessop?
Yes, it's your brother.
What sort of dream is this now? Not back in the forest yet, so this isn't a normal kind of dream, is it?
No, it's not. I came here looking for you.
Well, you found me, I suppose. In all of my glory, he kind of gestures around, and suddenly in the dream you can see the ruined city below.
Why in God's name are you leading an army?
Well, it's better than being a follower in an army, don't you think?
Well, this is... You have a point there, but where exactly are you? You're here? You're by Menzoberranzan? Is this where you are right now?
Yep. The Dark Elf capital city, which, if we're lucky, will fall soon enough, but they're putting up a bit of a tougher fight for the inner walls than we expected.
What is the point to all this?
Escape. That's what this is all about. Now, I've been keeping a few tabs on you. I hear things from above ground, from the family, from the clan. It seems that you're investigating the same cycle that I'm also trying to find an escape from.
Well, good.
Now, here is something to consider. Look at any historical records, anything from pre-cycle, anything from now, and there's no origin to the Mindflayers in the Elder Brain, is there? Nobody knows about it. Talk to an aboleth. They have literally a perfect memory going back tens of thousands of years from cycle after cycle after cycle. I've spoken to them, and even they are disturbed by the Mindflayers, who don't seem to have ever been created here.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying that they somehow found a way to slip into our world from somewhere else, somewhere unaffected by any of this.
Wouldn't that be somewhere where we can't go?
Well, if we find the Mindflayers and we kill them, and get any answer we can from the Elder Brain before slaying it, then I think we could find the same place that they used to live in, and go back and escape the destruction that's coming.
So why attack the Dark Elves? Have they been enslaved? What's going on?
They're in the way. And they desire the same thing we desire. They desire to slip away from the universe and return at a later time with their full strength. We mean to destroy them and slip away ourselves.
So you're attacking them why not just go after the Elder Brain directly?
Like I said, they're blocking the way. They don't want any other species to survive this. It's a slave revolt basically.
All right, well, fair enough.
Talk to Blackstaff, I suppose. He's actually the one that's led most of the creatures down here. He once ruled the Undermountain, but has moved even further down. His forces augment our forces.
Blackstaff.
He knows where the Elder Brain is, and he says that we need to go through the Dark Elf capital to reach it.
Okay. Well, you've got a bit of a problem headed your way. The
Oh.
Githyanki think that you know where the Elder Brain is.
I wish I knew exactly where it was, but I'll be happy to have their help if they want to get us into the inner sanctum.
Fair enough. Look, is there an easy way we can somehow meet up with you and join with you?
Nothing's easy down here, brother. You know that.
I know. All right. We'll try to speak to this Blackstaff. Maybe we can try find some way to circumvent this war. But at least I know you're safe.
Exactly. Blackstaff, you'll find him. Let me come with it. In the ancient ruins of Krasnorok.
Krasnorok.
Used to be a dwarven city, but for some reason its people were exiled and stricken from all dwarven records. But he's currently bringing in refugees from the far realms and basically throwing them into the meat grinder of this battle.
Okay.
Now, be careful around Blackstaff, though. The man's not stable.
Well, it's good to know.
You deal with beings from the far realm as often as he does.
How are you holding up, though, brother?
I'm tired. I'm very tired. This battle has been going on for too long. We didn't know that the Dark Elves would be able to bring in so many reinforcements so quickly. Their leader, they say she is perhaps Lolth herself, come to the physical plane to lead her people.
Oh, shit. Well,
Lost.
all right, Blondie. Well, try not to die.
And same to you, brother. Now, if you don't mind, I think there are far more pleasant things I could dream of tonight.
All right, well, give me a hug. I'll see you soon.
And then they bro hug it out. Okay, God, we get it. So what do you guys say? It's about 2. Want to end it just a little bit early today?
Yeah.
Come up with more stuff for when you guys, when your characters wake up the next day. Another exciting day in Waters Deep. Meeting counts and getting permits, filling out paperwork in triplicate. It's going to be an exciting adventure for all of our viewers at home.
Oh yeah, the bureaucratic shit.
Oh yeah.
Red tape.
Good.
Bureaucracy and something B&B, whatever.
Bureaucracy
I'll come up with an actual
bureaucracy
pun.
bitches.
Alright, so thank you for watching another episode of Dice, Nerds, and Nagas.
Bye.
See you next time.
Cheers.